Welcome back to Hopes and Pylons. It is patch day in Europa Universalis 4 and it's patch 129, the Manchu update. I'm going to spend all this episode to just simply talk about the patch, check around in the game, the updated game, see what's changed, jump over to the patch notes, which hopefully I will not forget and leave on the screen, have you all look at this while I'm clicking around in the game, and that's gonna be awesome. The Manchu update obviously changes a bunch in this area, big tagger in the room being Ming. But there's also changes to the Aurats, or the hordes really, or these hordes over here at least, and these, what are they called? These people over here, and Korea and Japan. Well, let's start with the Ming. Now, Ming did not get new ideas or new mission tree or anything, as far as I understand. We can have a quick gander at the patch notes here. Blah, 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 blah. I don't see that there's anything in that area with the Ming. No, but what did happen, and this is, I think, the most important change of the patch, is there are a bunch of changes to how the Mandate of Heaven works. Now, the Mandate of Heaven got introduced with the Mandate of Heaven expansion, of course. And with that, Ming was changed from this big country that was exploding, usually exploding or imploding really, relatively soon in the game, causing the infamous Ming explosion, where Ming would shatter into a bunch of different cultures and states like akin to this. This is not really a thing that happens anymore since the Mandate of Heaven expansion, because of the changes to how Mandate works. Or the introduction of Mandate as such. Now, Mandate is a number between 100 and 0. If you have below 50 Mandate, you get negative effects, and they do stack up really heavily to essentially the point where your troops just die to everything. And you have tons of unrest and rebels and all that. And positively, of course, you just get much stronger if you have positive Mandate. The thing that always made this mechanic a bit weird and pretty dumb to play with is that it gives you, and still does, you gain Mandate for having a bunch of tributary states, but you would lose Mandate for neighboring countries that are not your tributary. And what that would do is two things. For one, playing Ming, especially the AI playing Ming, you would have a bunch of tributaries around you, and then it wouldn't expand because all your neighbors are your friends, they're paying you tribute, and nothing ever happens. And Ming just stays Ming forever. On the other hand, if you were to be another country, let's say we became Eurat, let's become Eurat, and yes, I'm cheating here just to show you stuff, and then we want to declare war on the Ming, and we say they're not the Emperor of China, we are. We can use the take Mandate of Heaven casus belli here, take down the capital, gain I think 50% or 80% war score, and grab their land. And then, well, not their land, they just take the title, and then you have this Mandate mechanic, but you have no territories, or not all your neighbors are territories, and you probably have a giant Ming still alive that's not your tributary, reducing your Mandate to 0, killing all your troops, and making you straight up horrible. So usually taking the Mandate of Heaven was just akin to suicide. This has changed. Not having tributaries no longer causes a loss in Mandate. You still gain Mandate for having tributaries, but you no longer lose it for having neighbors that are not tributaries. To sort of balance that, there have been a bunch of events added to the game, and I haven't seen them yet. I haven't played with this yet, but they have a fairly big impact on Mandate. And with that being the case, especially the AI does choose relatively randomly between event options, so they're gonna very often have not enough Mandate and then fall down. This is exacerbated by a new disaster that we have here. So there's let's start with the old disaster. Oh, I'm no longer Ming. Let's become Ming again. Oh, look, I'm Ming. Ming always had this unique disaster, the unguarded nomadic frontier. Well, I think it's not Ming exclusive as such, but the Emperor exclusive. So you need to be Emperor of China to have this. You don't want this. So if you have a neighbor that is a steppe nomad country that is not allied to you, it's not a subject, so no tributary or just a regular subject, has no truce to you and is big, you get disaster, which hurts your mandate, hurts your morale of armies, hurts your liberty desire of subjects, and just generally makes your life horrible. So you never wanted to have a neighboring horde that is not your territory. But they also added this new disaster now, the Crisis of the Ming Dynasty, that triggers when you have less than 50 mandate, as I believe Ming and being the Emperor of China, or simply not being the Emperor of China. So once you lose the mandate, this immediately triggers, as soon as you're no longer the Age of Discovery. And then you get more national unrest, less morale of armies, increased technology costs. So this is really also bad. So as soon as you take Ming's mandate, Ming is gonna hurt. And Ming, yeah, actually take the mandate or make it so that Ming doesn't have the required amount of mandate. That's gonna be really, really bad for Ming. And there are event chains. There's like an event where you, let's have a quick look at the patch notes, see if we can immediately see this. There is a Ming event, Northern. No, there's too many northerns here. There's some sort of horde event where you have to hold a fort and then I think capture the heir or the king of the emperor of Ming or something, and then you just automatically get land from Ming. And then a bunch of other new events that are gonna help keep the game more in line with history, and also just give the neighbors an option to deal with that superpower that is Ming. And I mean, let's have a look while I figure out my keys here. Ming is just a nutty superpower at the start of the game, right? 1100 development. This is almost, well, at least 3 times what the Mamluks have. That's nuts. And everybody else is just below. So they're the absolute superstar. So there has to be some balancing, and this is, I think, one of them. So there are options to take the mandate from Ming as a player, mostly, and there are many options for Ming to implode when it's not a player, which is, I think, the idea. I think if you're a player playing Ming, then you can still just stabilize and do your thing. And you're not even as hampered anymore. You don't have to keep your border of all tributaries. You can actually go expand and eat people, which is always fun. I mean, if you start as Ming, it's maybe a little bit easy, but fun nonetheless. But yeah, if you're playing one of these other countries, that's why I'm saying this is probably the most important change to the patch, is it probably makes playing these other countries so much more interesting. What you usually do if you play in this area, so you become Ming's tributary, you eat all your neighbors because they're also tributaries and Ming's not going to defend them. And once you've done that and you're super big, then you start eating into Ming. Maybe now you can actually go in there earlier. That would be very interesting. Do somehow the David vs. Goliath thing, but the slow-moving Goliath that is Ming, and then maybe we can beat them. That seems like it would be a lot of fun. And I'm definitely looking forward to trying that. I'm going to try playing one of these smaller nations here. Let's have a look. Why don't we just start with that? At the nations whose ideas and or mission trees have changed, and see what's in there that tickles our fancy. Let's start here. Unique national ideas for the Oirats, the Mongol Khanate, and Chagatai. Now, I'm not 100% sure whether the Mongol Khanate is a formidable new thing or whether it's just Mongolia. But we're going to have a look at the Oirat, Mongolia, and Chagatai ideas nonetheless. Let's start by becoming, let's say, Oirat. Again, have a look at our ideas. Ideas, I said. So we start the game, and this is crazy. Core creation costs -20, that's from the old Horde ideas, I believe, and cavalry combat ability. This is super strong. And when you finish your ideas, you also get that land leader shock. That's just good. It's just more punch. We get cavalry cost reduction, land leader maneuver. Okay, that's not nutty. Land attrition is pretty weak. It's nice to have, but it's not something super powerful. Horde unity, honestly, is also pretty weak. Unless you're doing badly. If you're not doing well as a Horde, then you need this Horde unity bonus dearly. But if you're doing well as a Horde, you don't need this. So in the ideal game, it's just irrelevant. Tech cost -5, sure. AE impact 15%, aggressive expansion. That's gonna help you with that expansion again. Again, combination between core creation and aggressive expansion is just really good. Manpower recovery speed 15% and 5% discipline. Again, more punch together with that land leader shock. and then more manpower from the Glory of Conquest. This is a pretty strong set of expansionist ideas, I believe. Now let's jump over to, who else do we have? I have people here. Chagatai. There we go. Chagatai ideas. Starts out not as good. Cavalry combat ability as well. Okay, sure, you're a horde. That makes sense. Harsh treatment cost 20% reduction. That's garbage. That's just utter garbage. Yeah, you can use it to generate absolutism late in the game or something, but otherwise, this harsh treatment is a stopgap measure at best, and 20% reduction on that is just... Land maintenance -5, sure, take it. But once again, once you complete your ideas, do you really care about 5% reduction in troop costs? Probably not. Now, let's see if this gets better. Attrition for enemies also pretty garbage. Land attrition on yourself, it's even less than what we had on Chagatai, on... Who are we talking about? Alright. So, meh. Morale, 5%? Sure, that's good. But it's half as good as the 5% discipline that we saw on Oirat. So again, not that great. Manpower recovery we saw on Oirat as well. It's fine. Diplo NX cost, this is different. This promotes a bit of a different playstyle. Maybe this makes the Chagatines a better world conquest power, because I believe this is core creation cost. Yes. So the combination of 50% Diplo annexation cost and 25% core creation cost reduction, that might actually make this horde into a pretty good contender at world domination. Prestige +1, ugh. Diplomats +1, ugh. And manpower, sure. But again, it comes late and it's probably not that relevant. Let's have a quick look. Do these guys have special ideas? You do not really have that. These are just generic ideas, missions. Let's quickly go back to Oirat. Let's check out their missions. This looks different. Tumor Crisis, Ming are weak and ripe for invasion. Force the surrender of Ming during the Tumor Crisis or own Beijing as a core province. So I assume that's an event. The Tumor Crisis, I'm sure this is an event. Maybe that's where you capture the Emperor. What you get is Hot Union tradition. It's not nuts or anything. You can get a bunch of expansion stuff, of course. I'm not super sure how much of this is old. Oh, destroy this is. I'm pretty sure this is new. Rule over China, sure. But then subjugate Korea, destroy the shogunate, so go into Japan, invade Syria and Anatolia, Pax Mongolia. You have to own North China, Central Asia, Pontic Steppe, Khorasan. That's pretty big. That's quite the Pax you have there, Mongolia. I mean, the Mongols did get pretty far, but this gets almost into Europe here. Up to Moldavian borders. That's a big thing. What do you get for that? -3 national unrest just forever, and 15 staff cost reduction. I mean, that doesn't really matter, but not bad. Defeat the Rus. So this is a conquest-oriented set of ideas if I've ever seen one. And this is standard stuff. And next Tibet? No. What are you, Chinese? Sorry, never said that. Anyway, interestingly enough, it doesn't require you to eat all of Ming here with that Pax Mongolia, just the northern parts. No, that's pretty sweet. Let's have a look at extra Mongolia. I believe, first of all, they have a weird tag. They are KHA, probably for Khanet. I believe they have very similar ideas to Oirat. Yeah, they do not have the event one that we just had, the Tune something. But they have all the same other ideas, I believe, here. So you get mission. You get one extra mission if you're playing Oirat. It was Oirat, right? Was it Chagatai? Who knows these days? Oirat, it was Oirat. Okay. But they do have their own set of ideas. They get manpower bonus and separatism reduction, which is really great. This is just so much better than the harsh treatment price reduction. Minus 5 years of separatism is straight up reduction in unrest, which is sweet. Cavalry combat ability, as we had on the others, a bit later. A impact relatively early, which is cool. Land tradition, again, the core creation cost relatively late, but not as late as it was in Iraq, Chagatai? The other one. Chagatai, I believe. So this is alright for expansion. Envoy travel turn and reinforced cost pretty horrible. Movement speed is sweet on ideas, but it's nothing special. It is special. It is special, but it's not that good. And land linear shock is obviously nice. This is... It's not super powerful. The Orat ones were powerful. The Chagatain ones were interesting with the Diplo NX cost and all that, if that was... Maybe I'm switching the two. This is just medium all around. Except for the 5 years of separatism, that's nice. But overall, I don't think this is the strongest setup ideas here. So if you want to go for Mongolia, probably go for the other guys. It's alright, right? Yes. Alright, with the same mission tree, but better ideas. So that's probably the more interesting choice there, I think. So that's Mongolia, Orat, and Chagatai. Let's go back to our patch notes here, see what else happened. Korean, oops, I'm moving the wrong things here. Added a Korean mission tree with 27 missions in total. And I believe there are also Korean ideas. Maybe not. Anything new? This is the Chumo Crisis event we talked about. Event chain for Orat and Ming. If the Orats capture the Emperor and win the Siege of Beijing, they can force the surrender of northern China. So yeah, that's what we saw in that one mission. And that's certainly an interesting... another reason to play the Orat and not any of the other hordes, I think. Just to see this thing. Yeah, mission tree for the Mongols, we saw that. Available to all countries with Mongol, Char, Khalkha, and Orat primary culture. So that's why we saw the same thing on Orat as well. Let's have a quick look at the Korean mission tree then. While I find my buttons. There we go. I want to become Korea. And I want to have a look at... Whoa. Whoa, that's a mission tree. Now some of this is generic, but not a lot. I mean, Build to Force Limit is generic, but the follow-ups are not. Silk Road is generic, but this is not. Interesting. Access to Mount Paktu. We need to own Jiangsu, which is over here in Jiangsu. Which is a sweet mountain fort. I've died many death in. No, it's actually the Gangju fort here that I've died in. But this is also a nice mountain province. So you need to own it, have a core on it, and then you gain a bunch of claims and all the area, prestige and legitimacy, seize the borderland. It's going to be more conquest, more claims for it, even more conquest. This is already into Ming. Yeah, this is into Ming. So it's not going to be trivial by any means. Korean Manchuria, culture conversion cost reduction, permanent claim on the whole Manchuria region, and then end Manchuria. Completed to restore this thing, and at least one province in every area of Manchuria is held by Korea. So Manchuria must be a region then, right? That's North China. So it's not a region. Oh, that's Manchuria. Never mind, this is the region. Okay. This is not going into China. This is going north, of course. So deal with the Manchu over there. And then you get admin power and help to integrate the land. What do we have down here? Tame the dragon. That's, I assume that's against Ming. It's not the tiger in the room, it's the dragon in the room, of course. Is the Emperor of China. And own Nanjing. And own a bunch of provinces in the China super region. And you get a permanent claim on the whole China subcontinent. Wow, okay, that's a big that's a big area. And DEFCON, yeah, it's pretty good. Mandate growth, sweet. So this is the whole giant expansion tree there. Have a ton of discipline. Have artillery. Have at least 30% artillery. I like it. Have 5 fortresses. Yeah, okay, whatever. Protect against Japanese privacy. Foothold in Japan, so you need to start taking Japanese provinces. Defeat the shogun, so own Kyoto. Harmony with Japan. You can harmonize Shintos. So I believe the Koreans are Confucian, right? Yes, and Confucian does allow you to have a harmonized religion. Multiple ones, I think. Is it just one? No, it just costs things to harmonize other religions, I believe. And you can then harmonize the Shinto, sort of integrate their religion into your own, which is fine mechanic. It's different from other religions, at least. So that's not too bad. So get into Japan, harmonize all of them. And what's this? Korean self-reliance. What do we need for that? Blah, blah, bunch of missions, not be a subject, own all of Korea, develop Korea, have many factories, have a large army, over 100,000. Just be super powerful and developed. Bunch of event chains have been added for Korea, and these mission trees refer to that. I do like that. I hope you can't, like in Hearts of Iron, you can sometimes run with the, what are they called? The focus trees. Decisions, you can run into areas where there are whole parts of the mission tree that are just blocked off to you. Not really by your own decision, but by sort of the combination of things that happened. And that I don't like a lot. I hope that doesn't happen here. I do like the mix between missions and events more. I do think that's a good idea to start with that. But yeah, it might be... It's a danger, right? Ooh, is this new actually? This shows that I get these missions because I'm Korea, but these are the generic ones. Huh, I think this is new. I've never noticed it at least. Cool, like it, like it. Now, ideas, I believe Korea already had their own ideas, so, and we didn't see anything in the patch notes for changes to that. So that's probably, yeah, it's the infantry combat ability and something with boats. It's not a bad set of ideas, but idea cost minus 10, this is a joke, right? Well, a joke. You get this after you have, what's that, 3, 6, 12, plus 6, 18. So we've completed 2.5 idea groups before you get the idea cost reduction. That's already pretty late in the game. But hey, it is what it is. It's about trade, it's about ships and some infantry. Yeah, that's Korea. I do fancy the idea of trying out that event chain. And if you're not super versed in the game, I think this is a good and interesting start in this in the new patch without being too difficult. I think Korea has always been an easier start, and it definitely hasn't. It doesn't seem like it has become harder with the patch. And we can have a quick look again on the patch notes and see if there's anything else that has changed in Korea. Startup screen, events. Yeah, that's not really... Wait, what is that one? Can I not go previous here? Anyway. Doesn't seem like there are any particularly negative changes to Korea. So it's probably still a pretty easy start. Good start for the region. I like it. If you're not going for the super difficult stuff. Let's go back to the features though. We have Korea checked with the Tumor Crisis checked. Ministry of the Mongols, we've already seen that one. And there's a bunch of stuff I think we can just ignore here. Startup screens and all that. I like that this is a free feature, that we have a new startup screen. Anyway, there's been a bunch of geographical changes. I can't really go deeply into them because I'm not that well versed in the details of how these provinces looked. I feel like this was one less province earlier. I don't know that Haicheng existed, for example, before, but I could totally be wrong. But there have been provinces added and changes made and development moved around and all that. So that's they're doing this to all regions of the world, and it was time for this one. Korea also looks a bit more fragmented. Gangneung is still pretty big, but I believe one has been added here, maybe? Suvong? I don't think this existed before. Yeah, it's things like that. Cool things like that. Just add additions to the game that make the game more detailed, more interesting. Let's jump back to my patch notes here. So, Jurchen, Manchu, and King ideas, replacing the old Manchu ideas. So, let's have a look at those Manchurian people. We have, what do you say, Jurchen, Manchu, and King. No, I have no idea who of these guys has which ideas. I don't know that Donghai ever existed before, honestly. Or UGG? Nivk? Solon? This is all new, right? I think these guys are all new, these tags. Cool. Let's become EJZ. I'll have a look at that. Tag EJZ, please. And we have Jurchen ideas. There we go. More of armies 10%. Nice. Manpower 15%. Nice. Land attrition on completion. Whatevs. Attrition for enemies. Still a bad thing. National response 1. Horde unity plus 0.5. Okay. Shock early. Unlike the late shock we got on those hordes. Meteor recovery. Chance of new air. Improved relations. And possible banners. Now banners are a special thing for the Manchu people. There have been a bunch of changes to how banners work. I'm not going to go into detail. We don't have time for that. But they have been changed in a variety of ways. You can raise banners like this. You can go to your state screen and then raise banners from there. Depending on, I assume, the development of the state. With full course, yeah. Based on development, you can raise these people. Just do one. It hurts a bit. You get that banner troop. Starts on low manpower, and it now does actually reinforce from your manpower pool. It only uses 25% of your own manpower, but it does use your manpower now. So that's a change. You used to be able to run a lot of banners that never used any of your manpower. You can't quite do that anymore. So, and what do they get? They get more banners? Yeah. Honestly, this is not the strongest set of ideas I've ever seen. Improved Relations 25 is nice for aggressive expansion and all that, but it's just, the combination doesn't click for me. Mission tree wise, they still have the, what's this new? Maybe this is new. I mean, this is a bunch of generic stuff over here, but this is a specific Jurchen tree. Dominate your rivals, so all these neighbors, unite the Jurchens, bypass the Great Wall. So I need to own Shenyang and Beijing, so somehow we need to get into China. And after that, invade China. So, all right, and then take the mandate to heaven, I believe, right? Yeah, we need to be the emperor, or nobody's the emperor. If I can't be the emperor, nobody should be the emperor. 8 banners, just have 8 banners. Subjugate the Mongols, so get rid of all those Mongol people, invasions, and then standard stuff. Okay, it's a small mission tree. It's nice to add this into smaller countries, to not have the same generic one on everybody. But this is not the big change that we were looking for here, right? Now, let's have a quick look at cultures. Maybe that helps. What did we add? We added the Jurchen, Manchu, and King ideas. I thought I could maybe see that from the cultures, but that doesn't seem like a thing. So let's quickly tag over to, let's say, Yeren, which is MYR, of course. Why wouldn't it be? Why wouldn't it be MYR? Tag MYR. This is an old tag, but they have the same Jurchen tree here. I assume they have the same Jurchen ideas as well. They do. Let's check Sol, I guess. Tag Sol. They also, no, they have Evenk ideas. This was this one of the things we talked about? Jurchen, Manchu, and King. I don't see Evenk ideas in this list, but I'm pretty sure this is new. Attrition for enemies, province war score cost, trade efficiency. That's all pretty garbage. Land attrition again. Trade range. Years of separatism. I like. Construction cost. Yeah. Mercenary maintenance. Land delay maneuver +2. It's rare to get a +2 on these ideas, but it's just maneuver. And then fire damage +10%, which is okay. Pretty bad, honestly. And then generic ideas to the last. Okay, sure. Let's check out Jianzhou, MJZ. Have we done that before? I don't think we have. Attack, or did we? Also Jurchens. Let's go Korchen real quick. But then I'm a bit bored. Oops. Attack KRC. Go back to the proper map mode and see. Oh, this is already Mongol. So this is our Mongol mission tree we've seen before. And do you also have Mongol ideas or something? Ideas, Horde ideas. So that's generic Horde ideas. So I'm not sure where the King and Manchu cultures are. I mean, Manchu is probably if you form Great Manchu, right? Or if you form Manchu. This is Yuan, which I believe also gives you new ideas. I don't know. We'll have to see that when we play the game. I will not be able to quickly find that out right now. Let's jump back into the thing. By the way, if you know, let me know in the comments and I'll discuss it later on in another video, maybe. New Judge Manchu King mission tree. 16 new missions unique to King. And 23 in total. We saw those extra Jurchen missions already. So King must be a formable tag, right? I would check out how, but again, that's gonna have to be something for a future video because right now I don't know how to form that. Is that just Qing? I think Qing is just. Was it always spelled this way? Maybe I'm just stupid and it's always been spelled this way and I'm an idiot. Which is likely. If it is, then Qing is the thing. You can certainly form up here by invading. Sort of a replacement Ming that you can form with these people. You know what? I'm just going to briefly EU4 form Qing. And then see what we can do. King Dynasty, also got Manchu Dynasty, formation, expand. We need to be Manchu first, and then own a bunch of provinces. And to form Manchu, we need to have Girin, Hingan, and Hankang. Have Manchu as our primary culture. Okay, so you need to get into Manchu culture. You need to grab a bunch of provinces, and then from then on you can form King. And each time you get new ideas, apparently. That could be a thing we're doing. I'm not sure if we've done this on the screen before, in our videos before. I don't think so, though. I don't really see that Manchu culture already exists. Was that an event thing? I just don't remember. Anyway, let's go back to those patch notes before I show even more how much I don't know. I just don't know. So we have new mission trees there. These extra 23 missions for King Shing are certainly something that makes it interesting to go for that whole chain. Bunch of more stuff. Crisis for Ming, we've discussed this. More events, startup screens, more events, and finally a new unified mission tree for the Japanese. All separate mission trees for Japan, the daimyos, are redundant and defunct now. So if you don't know, you probably do. I assume I can just do something like, is it tag a ASK maybe? Yeah, there we go. We're now Ashikaga, which is one of many, many, many tags in Japan. But it is also the one that rules Kyoto. It's the current shogun. Whoever rules Kyoto is the shogun of Japan. And then you have all these weird vassals that are not really vassals, but kind of are. They don't actually show up in the list here, right? Do they? Oh, I checked the wrong people here. There we go. They do show up. Bunch of vassals, but they infight and there are special rules for this. We're not going to go into in depth on this. It's a weirdly different place to play the game. So also interesting start. But they used to have different ideas. There were daimyo ideas, there were, I don't know what the other ones were. Japanese, Ashikagan, shogunate ideas. I don't know. Different set of ideas. These have apparently been combined. But you have Ashikaga ideas. That's certainly different, right? Oh, mission trees, not ideas. Never mind. So there's a bunch of different ideas around here, but the mission tree has been unified. And I think what we're going to see if we tag over to, say, date here. Tag DTE. And check out our mission tree here. We see this, and I believe this expands once you become Japan, or am I wrong? So this is for a bunch in a bit, and if I go back to tag ASK, is that going to be different? Let's see. Tag ASK. It's the same mission tree. All right. So it was just combined. I assumed it would be like in Hearts of Iron where it expanded after a while, but that's not what's going on. So at some point you unite Japan, whether you're a daimyo or not. What you're going to do is sort of become the shogun and become Japan, own essentially all of the land here. Conquer Okinawa, colonize Taiwan, grab the imperial mandate, of course, Indo-Chinese hegemony. So we go to central Thailand and Tonkins, or the islands, colonize California, Pacific, so we're going over there. Regulate the social order, what does that do? Again, probably this being related to some sort of events? No, it doesn't look like it. So we need a bunch of absolutism and resolved all the incidents. Okay. Or no longer be Shinto. I like this. See, in Hearts of Iron, it would be, hey, you have to complete all these incidents so you can get this. But if you're not Shinto, you can't have incidents anymore, so you would never be able to take it. Here they say, well, if you can still do it, then do all the incidents. If not, then this is fine. You just get it. I like it. Trade power, money stuff, serving the secret fields, have no corruption, Siberian intervention, go into Korea and Manchuria, divine wind. Oh, that's just have a navy, so you're not invaded, I guess. Yeah, okay, so a bunch of expansion stuff over here, and then some more economical social stuff over here, and then colonization of California. Sure, Japan as a colonial nation, why not? And California obviously makes sense. It is probably the closest place from Japan to actually colonize. Okay, cool. It's gonna make things different. It's already fun to play this region, and this proper mission tree probably makes it more fun. Alright, that's all the big features that they have pointed out here as free features. We've talked about the changes to government. The Shogun cannot take Mandate of Heaven CB, so we can't use that to become the Emperor of China. Changes to Daimyo, aggressive expansion, changes to banners. For some reason, a bunch of changes to Republican tradition. No idea why, what this has to do in the Manchu patch, but a bunch of reductions to things that give you Republican tradition. Sure. Jiangsu, Manchu, King become historically lucky nations. That's just a bonus you get unless you turn that off in the game options. For certain nations that used to be powerful. That's that. Devastation doesn't matter if you haven't stated provinces. That's interesting for the mandate. So you can wait for devastation to go away in provinces you just conquered before you state them. So you don't have mandate loss from that. Cool. AI will now consider its mandate if it needs to peace out. That's really good because Ming used to fight to the death. And I mean its own death when they had no mandate before they were to give up. So that's a good thing to add that to the peace deal modifier. Few map mode changes, cultural map mode in the lobby, yada yada, lack of mercenaries. This is all not really something that I'm super interested in. Small changes to achievement, not really to the actual achievements, mostly spelling stuff. Changes to how you form Manchu, there we go. You need 20 core provinces with Manchu or Georgian culture to do it. Forming king requires claiming the mandate of heaven or being empire rank without having if you don't have the expansion mandate of heaven. But otherwise you need to go and take mandate of heaven before you can form king. So that's a sort of later thing. But tons of changes to events. The new events, of course. 20 provinces in the center for Mongolia region. 20 provinces added. That's a lot. 20 provinces? I mean, we saw all these new tags up here, or at least. So I assume it makes sense to have a bunch of extra provinces, yeah. This region was sorely lacking, and that helps. Dig it. Dig it. 12 provinces to the Manchuria region, 4 new countries, we saw that. Shah course, so a releasable or rebellion possible country there. Triggered modifier, whatever that's gonna do. We saw events ideas here. Why is this not a big feature? Interesting. New province, new daimyo. Accepted cultures, changes to tributaries of Ming at the start. All that. Buryatia is gone. No! Former provinces are now colonizable. Goodbye. Happy New Year. A bunch of changes here, and then for some reason Dutch republics now cannot choose the sortition reform and have 2 elections en route at it. I mean, I guess these are just changes that they wanted to make anyway, and they just added to the patch. They have nothing to do with the regions. Updated names for Gotland. Yeah, this is just other changes people probably just made on their spare time or after hours or whatever. Yeah. Bunch of bug fixes, although most of these are like crashes and all that. I don't see things like we fixed the bug where your explorer in the new world always just randomly stops and things like that. I don't think any of these are in here. Of course, bug fix is always good, but I do sometimes wish they would go back to some of those really annoying old bugs that just never have been fixed. But yeah, still good to have that. So overall, what do we have here? The patch doesn't really add anything to the game outside of this region. Sure, there are small changes, but really, if you're not playing in Eastern Asia here, then you're not gonna really see any difference in how the game plays. If you're playing as Ming, it's gonna be a bit different. mostly because you can expand. But if you're playing as one of the smaller nations here, I think things are going to be ginormously different. I think it's going to be so much more fun to play one of these nations. New ideas, new mission trees, differently working Ming, all these interactions, the events that allow you to get into Ming even if you're less powerful and all that, the changes to how mandate works, potential Ming explosion again. At least on paper, it sounds promising. It sounds fun. Looks like somebody went out and said, well, we have to do something about this region. The gameplay is always the same, whatever country you play here, you just have the same sort of pattern to your gameplay. Let's change that up, and I think they did that. Also, we saw a big contender for a world conquest nation here, and I believe it was Chagatai, right? That could be a thing. There's probably somewhere where you somehow start as Ming, become Chagatai, and then eat the world. There's probably some sort of exploity way to do it like that. There's already been such an exploit, and with hordes in general, and the Chagatai ideas just seem great for it. I'm not a big fan of the exploits, but I like the ideas. Anyway, I'm looking forward to playing in the region. This is not the expansion I was looking forward to, definitely not, but it's also free, and that's nice. Free changes to the area, and I'll take it. I'll play here, we'll see how things change. I'm super interested in seeing how these events develop. I'm not sure, I would like to do some sort of difficult achievement in the area, but I don't know what that would be. Maybe we'll just have to mix up something on our own. I don't know, as Hai Chi conquer all of China by 1497. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. Don't hold me to that. It's not going to happen. But some things, we're gonna find a way. If you're interested, I could also do a couple of small video series where I play the different new countries with the new event chains and see how they run. Let me know about that in the comment section. Otherwise, I'm just gonna start some campaign tomorrow, and we'll see what we can do. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, if you like my videos, especially if you like these types of videos, then do hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, go into the comment section, tell me about anything you want to tell me. Tell me about how I'm rambling too much, how this video is way too long, how you noticed that I had a long work day and had to go out for a couple of beers with people before I made this video. What can I do, right? It's patch day, I have to talk about this. It's not like I can just go to bed or anything. How you noticed that my voice is going away because, yeah, I just can't anymore. You do tell me about it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I was about to say see you guys next time, but before you leave, if you're new to the channel, and I know these types of videos usually attract a couple of people that are not coming to the channel, I do a lot of EU4 gameplay, Let's Plays, usually difficult achievement campaigns, not all of them super difficult, some longer, some not so long. We have tons of stuff down there in the archives, so check that out, check out my new videos. I do also hit other games from time to time. I've been trying to step that up in the past couple of weeks. To mixed reception, I would say. But if you're interested in that, if you're interested in watching me play the Spire, then definitely check that out. I played some Eradus Love the Dead, if you're interested in that as well. But now, thank you guys for watching. See you guys next time.